Good morning, Scott School, on this thrilling Thursday, September 12th. As we discussed and honored September 11th yesterday and the heroes around our world and in our community, today I want to tie that into our word of the week, honorific, because many of you may or may not know Chief Ferguson, who is a local hero here in our community. He is head of the City of DeWitt Police Force and does a really nice job partnering with our school and helping our students and families in every way possible. And if you know him, you know what I'm talking about. He is a wonderful, wonderful human, and we really, really appreciate his support. But again, I wanted to tie that into honorific. So, Chief is the honorific before his last name. So, have you been fab with vocab? Did you try an honorific at home? If not, here's your last challenge of the week. Give it a shot. I bet you'll surprise a grown up or a family member at home or whomever you live with. Today, I also would like to emphasize two important areas in our school, actually three, but one is going to be a small reminder because I'll talk about this next week. So, the first one is the playground. So, remember, we are respectful, we are responsible, we are safe, and we are bucket fillers, not only in the school, but also outside of the school on school grounds for certain, but those are life skills that really transfer well to no matter where you're at. It could be at home, could be at Meyer, could be at your soccer game. Being respectful, responsible, safe, and a bucket filler is just really good core values that demonstrate good character and just all around kindness and being a good human. So I really want to emphasize that with the playground. Making sure that you're respectful, responsible, safe includes we still have some porta potties out there, porta johns, and those are portable little bathrooms for our construction crew when they are here working. Those are off limits to our students. Our staff likely wouldn't use them anyway, but those are designated only for construction crew. That is not a safe area for you to be in because you're not supervised there. And we want to make sure that we know where you're at all times. So, heed my warning on that one, friends. It is super important that you stay away from that area. If you choose not to, then you'll likely be having a conversation with me. So, that's the one area I wanted to remind you of. Number two is the cafeteria. In the cafeteria, yes, we know that you want to see your friends and have time to socialize. And I think that's amazing. And I agree with that. And I know all staff here agree with that too. However, I do want to remind you that your eating time is pretty limited. And that is why your time afterwards is a short recess. So focus on eating first and socializing second because you will be able to go outside and socialize still. But once it's time to finish eating and move into a line to go outside, eating is done, my friends. And so we want to make sure your belly is full so your brain has fuel to do all the learning in the afternoon that you're going to be expected to do. So we are counting on you to eat first, socialize second, and then lastly, when the assistants in there, the adults in there, get your attention with the microphone and with the lights, that you freeze and you look and you listen. By looking and listening, you're going to hear the instructions you need to be successful in finishing up your lunch and transitioning outside for that short recess. So I'm counting on you. I know you can do this, but we've noticed it's been a little bit not super smooth lately. So I need your help with that. So thank you for that. And third, last but not least, and I'm not going to talk about this one too much, but our bathrooms. Friends, our restrooms are a place that are necessary for us to go in and use as they're intended, to wash our hands, to use the toilet area. I am counting on you, and so are the adults here, on making sure you're using that restroom as intended with a zero voice. Zero, zero, zero. The reason for that is that space echoes because of all the tile. There aren't sound barriers in there like carpeting and other things that make your voice sound a little softer. Instead, what happens is your voice, it echoes against the walls and it sounds even louder than what you probably realize. And that is a distraction to our friends in the hallway and our classrooms nearby. So it is extremely important that you follow that instruction, or unfortunately, sometimes we have to make individual plans for students until they can demonstrate that respectful, responsible, and safe behavior. And then on top of that, two last things I expect in there is after you wash your hands and dry your hands off with paper towel, that paper towel goes into the trash can. And then finally, we all use the restroom. Boys and girls, everybody has to use the restroom throughout a day. It's just how it works. Think about when you're using a restroom, how important it is to you to have privacy. I know it's important to me, and I'm sure you feel the same way. I'm expecting you to use that restroom in a way that gives privacy to other friends in our school. That means you're not looking under stalls. You're not climbing on top of stalls to look over. You're not trying to peek through the doors. For one, it's kind of, why would they do that? That's kind of weird. And two, it makes people feel uncomfortable. Now, I know that you wouldn't do that, but I did get wind that someone might have forgotten about this recently. So I thought it was important to give you a reminder because we want to make sure everyone feels safe using the restroom, and you can contribute to that by making sure you're demonstrating that safe and respectful behavior by being responsible and using the restroom as intended. And now my counterpart, Mrs. Schwartz, is here, honorific Mrs. today, and I'm excited to share the mic with her so she can introduce herself and then share some Panther Pride winners for the week.
Why, thank you, Mrs. Reha. Friends, I have been in almost all of the classrooms, and I am so excited to finally be here. I was sick for a couple of days, and I missed all of you so very much. I'm Mrs. Schwartz, and I am your social worker here at Scott School, and I get to partner with Mrs. Reha on the morning news. We like to have a good time, so hang on to your hats, friends. This morning, we have so many bucket filling individuals to celebrate today. We have Panther Pride winners from Miss Flegel's class. We have Lucy, Connor, Carissa, and Enzo. And from Mrs. Toth's class, we have Evie, Emmett, Hangcha, and Evie again. And then in Mrs. Carr's class, we have Everly, Julian, Grayson, Violet, and Hannah C. From Miss Sobe's class, Eva, Austin, Cami, and Noah. From Miss Anderson's class, Armani, Nora, Eliana, and Olivia. From Miss Younker's class, we have Brinley, Clara, Clayton, and Annabelle. Got from Mrs. Cass's class, Luke, Amelia, Liam, and Charlie. From Mrs. Crumb's class, Caden and Kira. From Miss Cochran's class, Jack, Colton, Brooklyn, and Logan. And from Mrs. Poosfarouche's class, we've got Landon, Georgia, Logan, and Maev. From Mr. Whitfield's class, Knox and Ava. From Mrs. Carr's class, Ryder. From Miss Larson's class, we have Winnie, Max, Landon, Matt, Cassidy, and Lila. And from Miss Denning's class, we have Brandon, Jaya, Cora, and Lily. And last but certainly not least, we're going to celebrate from Miss Taylor's room, Harley, Joaquin, Caleb, and Henry. Woohoo! What a fantabulous group. My friends, it is now time to stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a thoroughly thrilling Thursday, Scott School.